Hi everyone, my name is Ntsako Maluleke from South Africa. So this is part of my running series, or I guess my weight loss journey. I think part of part of the process, I found that a fitness journey is more than just fitness. It's also like a mental journey, or like a mental fitness journey rather. And by pushing beyond your normal capabilities and getting better, you're also training your mind to take on new challenges, to push harder when things get very hard. And I think that's a very valuable lesson for me to impart in everyone. But beyond that, I hope everyone is well. I think everyone is going through their own troubles. Everyone is going through different types of problems. How you doing? Different types of problems. And I think the biggest thing is realizing that showing up to face your problems is probably the most important thing. By choosing not to fight your problems, you're choosing to stay in them. It's realizing that inaction is actually still action. It's choosing for things to stay the same. And as I read somewhere a couple of years ago that change only happens when the pain of suffering is greater than the pain of staying the same. And maybe you need to make your pain threshold of suffering a bit lower so that you're able to change when you need to change. You know what I mean? You're able to make the important changes to improve your life. And I think a lot of people don't realize that by staying the same and by not fighting and pushing, they're choosing to stay in the situations that have made them so miserable. So sometimes you must choose yourself. You must always choose progress. You must always choose to push yourself. You must look back after 5 years, like you must see that you've moved from one step, one position to another. It must be like a book from chapter 1 to chapter 5. You know what I mean? And in some parts of the book, chapters get hard. Life gets hard just before the climax. But it's particularly interesting that before things get better, they must get very hard. And maybe that's the formula of life. It's choosing for you to always be in a position where things are going well. You must always put yourself in positions where you are just before the climax. Just hardship might be the formula for success. And you hear it with many people saying, yeah, you must push. Like, you hear a lot of motivational people say you must push hard, you must do all these different things. But it never really used to hit home. But having been through the process a couple of times, having been through some hardships myself, I've realized that every time where I really felt depressed, I really felt like I was in a bad spot, and I woke up and I tried to do something about it, and I pushed. Those years are usually my best years, or those periods are usually my best periods. When I look back and I'm like, the greatest growth happened in that stage. When I was going through this thing, when I was going through that, when I was going through that heartbreak, when I was failing in school, when I didn't have no money for like a very long time. So you realize that it's when I didn't have money, I decided to get a job. I started working. When I started failing, I decided to create time to push, stop going out as much as I used to. So it's literally more about looking at these positions when you're going through a lot of things, and you look at those positions with gratitude, because that's when you change the most. That's when you became better. To become better, you need to go through hard things. You must go through a whole lot of hard things, especially as a man. Even African customs, to become a man, you have to go through processes to make you a man, to make you hard, because you need to show up for people. You need to be the one that people can count on. You need to be the one that when your child needs something, your life experience must come into play. Even if it's not your own, but it's someone else, because you've been around good men and good people that have pushed. So staying at home and deciding to choose defeat, and I'm using the word choose consciously, deciding to stay and wallow in your current position is not the way, gentlemen. I think at the end of the day, you want to look back and see that things have changed, and the only way that thing can happen is if you put yourself out there, whatever that means for your life, whatever it means for everything you're going through. So gentlemen, I'm gonna continue the run. just had like a spark of thoughts that I felt like resonated with me a lot. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have a good Sunday, and we'll catch up again.